If you've ever wished you had a podcasting pro with nearly a decade of experience whispering growth secrets into your ear, that's exactly what you'll get when you tune into Podcast Growth Tools with me, your host, Kylie Chandler. This is the ultimate show for you if you're ready to grow your podcast audience, skyrocket engagement, and turn your show into a traffic-driving, list-building powerhouse. I've been in the podcasting world since 2015, helping creators like Amy Porterfield grow their shows to over 1 million downloads a month. My superpower? Breaking down proven podcast strategies and marketing techniques into step-by-step guidance you can actually implement without fluff, overwhelm, or guesswork. On this show, we're getting real about what actually moves the needle when it comes to growing your podcast audience and using it to boost your email list growth. From actionable insights and expert interviews to behind-the-scenes secrets, I'll help you turn your podcast into a traffic-driving, list-growing machine. Grab your earbuds, hit subscribe, and let's take your podcast to the next level. Hey, welcome to the Podcast Growth Tools podcast, where we turn podcast passion into unstoppable growth. I'm Kylie Chandler, your go-to guide for proven podcast strategies and marketing insights. If you are tuning in on YouTube, I'm so glad you're here. You are getting the unedited version. So if I flub up or if I stumble over my words, you get the whole thing. If you want an edited episode, head over to my podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, and give it a listen there. All right, so this is my first episode for this podcast. I couldn't be more excited that you're here, whether you've been podcasting for years or maybe you're just passing your 1-year mark. This is the place to learn strategies that actually work. In fact, if you're just starting out, this is still going to benefit you a ton. A little bit about me. I've been in the podcasting industry for almost a decade now and have helped big name creators grow their podcast downloads and convert thousands of listeners into subscribers and paying customers. For example, I helped Amy Porterfield of Online Marketing Made Easy, shout out to Amy, increase her podcast downloads by 234%. I'm going to say that again, 234%. So, very exciting. We had a lot of fun with that. I've also supported both Amy and Kathy Heller, who is the podcast host of Abundant Ever After, in creating podcast-centric quizzes that not only boost their podcast downloads, but generated over 20,000 subscribers combined. And that's still growing because they are still out there. All this to say, I have years of experience executing proven marketing strategies to grow podcasts in a big way. And now I'm sharing them with you. Thank you for being here. I can't wait to bring you all amazing episodes to help you do big things, not only with your podcast, but also your email list and your business. Okay, so today we're diving into something I know that you are going to love. We are going to talk about 8 game-changing podcast trends for 2025 that'll elevate your show, engage your audience, and support your podcast goals for this New Year's. Can I get an amen? Whether you're just starting out, you're a big name podcaster, or somewhere in between, you're going to find so much value from this episode. These are trends I want you to be ahead of the game on. So grab a notebook and a pen and let's get into it. Okay, so why trends? Why now? Podcasting is evolving faster than ever, am I right? Trust me, the landscape today isn't what it was even 6 months ago. There's new tools, smarter ways to market your podcast, and even listener habits are shifting in ways that create incredible opportunities for growth and for podcasters. The good news is you don't have to figure this all out alone, okay? I've got you. I've rounded up these trends and how you can leverage them without feeling overwhelmed. Okay, I've sprinkled a few fun stories in here and actionable steps along the way. So if you're ready, let's do it. Trend number 1, AI is your new best friend. Okay, let's talk about it. We've all heard the buzz, but here's the deal. AI isn't here to replace you. It's here to save you time and help you create better content. So it's not new, right? It's been coming into the zeitgeist. It's been coming into our worlds for a couple years now, but I feel like now it's evolved to a point where we are able to use it in such wonderful ways to really elevate our podcast content, our social presence, everything in between. So here's a quick, actionable way to make AI your secret weapon in 2025. Step 1, you have to train your AI. So feed platforms like ChatGPT and Perplexity with your existing content. I'm talking about show notes, newsletters, blog posts, you name it. This helps AI to learn your voice, your tone, your brand, anything like that. So it's so important that you take this step. Step 2, repurpose. Step 2, use it to repurpose content. For example, upload your existing episode transcripts and ask AI to create an SEO-rich blog post, social media captions for Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever platform you're on, and a keyword-rich YouTube description. Boom, it's going to spit that all out for you. Step 3, experiment with topic generation. Have the AI suggest episode ideas based on your audience's interests, pain points, what they're searching for. It knows it, so use it. And one thing I want to say is, I'm telling you these things, but don't just take what it gives you, what it spits out, and run with it. Of course, go back, infuse what you prefer and your voice and your tone. And again, that comes back to training it. So you want to edit what it gives you and then give it back to your AI and say, these are the edits I made, please note them, so that it starts to learn your voice even better. All right, so real life example, I'm gonna go to my girl Amy. She uses AI to transform her podcast transcripts into SEO optimized blog posts. So this drives organic traffic, it boosts her show discoverability. I mean, imagine what it could do for your podcast. So our big takeaway here is to use AI as your assistant, not as a replacement. Train it well and let it handle the busy work so that you can focus on what you do best, creating amazing content, right? All right, let's get to trend number 2. That is going to be YouTube video, right? So here's another trend that's too big to ignore. Honestly, if you're in the podcasting world, put your ears up, listen. I had a teacher in high school who would say, selective listeners, listen now. I'm going to say that to you. Video podcasts are taking over. YouTube in particular is becoming a podcasting powerhouse. And it's not just for beauty tutorials or gaming, right? It is for podcasters. So let's walk through a step-by-step on how you can implement this. Step 1, start simple. Use tools like Riverside or Zencaster to record videos alongside your audio. Listen, it does not need to be anything fancy. I'm a great example, all right? So no fancy equipment needed. Your phone camera will work just fine. Just get started. Just put something up. Step 2, repurpose content. So create short clips from your episodes using tools like CapCut. These clips can double as YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, giving you maximum reach for combined effort. And then step 3, focus on consistency. Even if you're not ready to fully upload full episodes yet, posting regular shorts will help you build an audience on YouTube. Real life example. So 2 Girls, 1 Ghost is a great example of experienced podcasters who just started posting videos on YouTube. Now, even if you don't have a professional editor, I'd still recommend uploading your audio with a static image, keeping in the theme of spooky podcasts. National Park After Dark does this. And they simply upload their cover art and then they just have the audio playing. In fact, when I was working for Amy Porterfield, we did this exact same thing. You can go and look at her episodes on YouTube. We saw thousands of listeners coming in through YouTube, and we did it that way where it's very simple. So don't feel like you have to have this perfectly polished video. Just get something up. It's gonna work great for you. Over time, you can absolutely get fancy, but I'd recommend just get started so that you can stay ahead of the trend. The takeaway for this one is whether it's a 30-second clip or a full video episode, video content is a fantastic way to grow your reach and connect with a whole new audience. Okay, so quick question for you. Do you prefer watching podcasts on YouTube or do you like sticking to the audio? I've been a mix lately, but let me know what you think. I'm so curious. Hop over to Instagram. You can find me at The Podcast Hub. You can find me at The Podcast Marketing Hub on Instagram. I'll put it in the show notes, but go ahead, give me your feedback, even a DM. I'd love to hear it. All right, let's move on to trend number 3. turn listeners into learners. So this is super exciting, super fun. Spotify has been rolling out a pilot program in the UK, which allows podcasters to offer digital courses. They publicly haven't shared when they'll be rolling it out in the US. However, I happen to be on a call this fall with the I'm going to struggle to say this, Thinkific team. And I know that they are currently speaking to top podcasters in the US to see about getting a few courses up. Who knows when that will be? However, it's something to keep in mind and keep a pulse on as we move through this new year, as we move through 2025. Because what you can do is start to think about what kind of course you might be able to offer that could support your business, support your audience, and really benefit you, benefit your listeners, all of the things. So as more details come out about this rolling out in the US, I will be sure to keep you in the loop. So a real life example of this is Stephen Bartlett of the Diary of a CEO. So he partnered with Spotify to offer a course called the 16 Steps to Start and Scale a Multi-Million Pound Business. Again, this is in the UK. It's a perfect example of blending podcast and education to monetize expertise. So takeaway, turning your podcast into a gateway for learning. It's not just smart, it's scalable. So again, when we start to see this roll out in the UK, jump on the bandwagon, give it a go, but start to think about what kind of digital course you could be creating. All right, let's get to trend 4. Get playful with interactive content. Let's shake things up a bit. Did you know that your audience doesn't just want to listen, they want to participate, right? Like everyone has their phone with them all the time. We're participating in so many things via our phone. Interactive content is a game changer for building a loyal audience and increasing engagement. So let's talk about our step-by-step. Step 1, you can use built-in tools. Platforms like Spotify now let you add polls or Q&As to your episode, right? We know this. Take advantage of it. So for example, ask your listeners what topics they would like you to cover next. Or step 2, go live, host a live Q&A session or interactive interviews on platforms like YouTube Live or Instagram Live. I even see people doing LinkedIn Live. So record these sessions and repurpose them as podcast episodes. So that's the beauty of this, right? We can repurpose so many ways and create even more content and even more longevity out of one piece of content. Step 3, involve your audience. Let them vote on future episode topics or submit questions for guests. Mention their contributions in your episodes to make them feel seen and appreciated. People love stuff like that. All right, so real life example. Crime Junkies uses live episodes to invite fans to share theories and questions, turning their community into an integral part of the show. So here's your takeaway. Interaction builds loyalty. When listeners feel like they're part of your process, they're more likely to stick around and recommend your show to others. I'm telling you, it's true. I would recommend setting aside a little bit of time each week, maybe every Tuesday or Thursday. Go in and respond to any Spotify comments you have received. This will encourage your listeners to keep interacting. And Spotify loves to see this, right? They gave you this feature, and if you are using it as a podcaster, they're going to reward you for it. So it's a win-win for everyone. All right, let's talk about trend 5. Repurposing your podcast gems. So this isn't necessarily new, but it's definitely becoming more common. We're seeing a lot more people do it. So why not jump on in on that? So your back catalog is pure gold. I mean, some of you listening have 100 episodes, 200 plus out there, right? So make 2025 the year that you repurpose some of those, bringing them back into the light. First things first, go back and identify your top backlog performers. See if you can come up with 50 that really stood out and make a list that you can come back to time and time again. From there, let's move into step 1. You're going to do an SEO tune-up. What does that mean? Update the show notes for these older episodes with trending keywords to boost discoverability. Enhance them in any way that you can. Step 2, create thematic bundles. So group episodes into best of series or playlists for new listeners to binge. From there, you can package these bundles into lead magnets to use across your website, and social to not only drive downloads, but also subscribers. All right, I'm just making sure everything's good. So, okay, once I did this with a client and we created 3 different playlists to test out on Instagram. We tested it out using ManyChat, and we ended up landing on a specific playlist that performed at 97 or 98%. We're talking thousands of people responding with a trigger word and then actually taking action to sign up for the podcast playlist bundle. So you can see how effective this can be for driving both downloads and subscribers. Step 3, create social teasers using AI. Pull standout moments from past episodes to create Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts that attract fresh eyes and ears. And if you don't have video footage, not even a problem. Consider grabbing just an audio clip and putting it over B-roll. I was just listening to an episode and she was talking about how she had a bunch of reels go viral in 2024, and she said keep it simple. It's basically B-roll with audio and a trending B-roll with text and a trending audio. So you could just create that same type of situation with this. You just do B-roll of you current day with a really juicy clip from that podcast episode and put it over your B-roll, and boom, you've repurposed that podcast on your social media. Excuse me. So, real life episode, Call Her Daddy frequently highlights older clips on TikTok, bringing renewed attention to archived episode. Lewis Howes, host of the School of Greatness podcast, has actually started piecing older episodes together to create a new episode with a specific theme. So for example, I know he's had one on money, on love, on meditation, things like that. So start to think of how you can do that and repurpose old things. So takeaway, repurposing isn't lazy, it's smart. Stretch your content further and introduce new listeners to some of your best work. Before number six, hold on. All right, trend number 6. Your podcast can be the heart of your marketing strategy. It's not just about downloads. It's about driving action and creating lifelong loyal fans who eventually become paying customers. So when you start to treat your podcast like a product, which is my motto, you got to treat your podcast like a product if you want it to grow, if you want it to deliver, if you want it to be a rich part of your business, honestly, you'll be amazed at how quickly it grows. What I mean is you want to consider scheduling into your you want to schedule into your business having podcast promo weeks. So for example, if you are a personal brand who has a digital course, maybe every year you look at your planning calendar and you say, all right, we're going to launch our digital course in the winter and in the fall. You put those into the calendar. Maybe you have a SaaS business and you are planning out the promo weeks that you're going to promote your app. This is the same thing. Put your podcast promo week into your planning schedule just like you do for any other product. So just as you would promote those other products in your business, whether physical, digital, or otherwise, you're going to treat your podcast the same way. The best way I found to do this is to create a podcast-centric quiz that delivers a personalized playlist to the quiz taker. That will become your main driver for results during your promo week. From there, start to consider all of the other avenues that you can use to really drive traffic to the quiz during the promo week, and in turn, to your podcast. So honestly, this works great for boosting downloads. It's great for growing your email list. It's great for boosting sales. Trust me, it's worked so great. So a few examples of other areas that you can promote this during your podcast promo week include website pop-ups and banners. Maybe you release multiple episodes during that specific week. Email marketing, promo style social posts, running ads, utilizing an automated messaging system like ManyChat, collaborating with other podcasters. For example, you can have them on during that week and then see if they'd be open up to promoting the quiz for you. You can go live on Instagram or LinkedIn answering questions that are relevant to the quiz and then say, you sound like your results XYZ. Be sure to go take the quiz to find out. You can also do a virtual sweepstakes, which I've done with huge success in the past. You can use platforms like Viral Sweep. This is a great way to encourage people to do more than just download episodes or take your quiz. You can also include things like following on social, signing up for your newsletter, sharing an episode with a friend, leaving in a review, following on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Lots and lots of options here. And then our takeaway here, your podcast is a marketing powerhouse. Use it to its full potential. Okay, so I've given you 6 amazing trends. If you're listening on YouTube, I told you I was going to give you 8, but I actually have a freebie that you can go get for 4 more. So I have a lead magnet, a freebie you can go grab. It's the 2025 podcast trends report. It has all 10 trends on there. For those listening on audio, I'm just going to say it. 6. You guys get 6. Okay, so guess what? I have 4 more trends waiting to be revealed for you. All you have to do is head to podcastmarketinghub.com/trends, and I'll send you the entire 2025 growth trends report. From there, I recommend you choose one or two, that's it, trends to implement each month. Remember, consistency beats perfection. Start small, take action, and grow from there. I just saw, I think it was Jenna Kutcher had a reel on Instagram, and it said, New Year's resolutions are cute and all, but it's consistency that really drives something. Anyways, I love it. I agree. Couldn't agree more. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to the very first episode of Podcast Growth Tools. If you've loved today's insights, don't forget to hit subscribe, leave a review. It helps more podcasters just like you find this show. And if you're ready for more personalized strategies, of course, check out Podcast Marketing Hub for free resources and consultations. I'm here to help you create the podcast and the growth you've been dreaming of. If you want to hop on a free consultation, head to podcastmarketinghub.com/call and let's chat about how my services might be able to support you and your podcast growth this year. I will put both of those links in the show notes. And until next time, keep creating, keep growing, and keep making your mark on the podcasting world. It's important work. So thanks. We'll talk to you soon.